Good afternoon, TCG ambassadors. Hope you are having a fantastic day. This is Adam Thompson here with Focal Point Coaching, and we are kicking off our ambassador webinar program. Today's the first one, and it is going over the 7 steps to goal achievement. I will be kind of walking you through the process today. Again, my role with the ambassador program and with TCG is to be that coach role, to provide you all with the tools, the disciplines, the accountability, the measurability you need to make sure you're getting everything that you want and everything you desire out of this TCG Ambassador program. Make sure you can achieve those goals that you've set for yourself. And I'm looking forward to working with you. So today we're going to talk about goals. We're going to talk about goal setting and goal achievement. Success is goals, all else is commentary. This is a quote from Brian Tracy, who is the founder of Focal Point. Much of our content, if not all of our content, our concepts, our programs are based on Brian's teachings, his books, his seminars, his workshops, the things he's done in his 30 plus year career and the 70 books he's written. So what are we looking at today? What are our goals for today? First of all, it is to get your goals down on paper. By the end, we hope to have concrete goals established for all of you. Writing them down obviously helps activate in your mind. It gives you something to which you can refer on a daily basis. We're also going to work on getting that plan put together. The plan is your roadmap. It's the how of what you're going to do. And then finally, we're going to establish those action items that you can take immediately upon finishing this workshop, this webinar, to go out and begin working toward your goal. Let's look at some examples. What do goals look like? What is a goal? A couple things I've put down here. Improve our fundraising 25% over last year. Increase our number of volunteers. Grow my board of directors. Increase the number of donors. I would ask, what do you think? Are these goals? And I would submit that these are not. They're great a basis for a goal, but they're not specific enough. They're not actionable enough to be a good goal, in my opinion, the way I like to structure, the way we like to structure goals. We're certainly going to walk through what that process looks like, how you might structure your goals, and how they might work. But before we do that, we need to look at where we are right now. We need to look at where you are as a person. We're going to identify your starting point. This is our first exercise for the day. This is a process we call it focal point diamond mapping. What you'll see is this grid 1 to 10 with 4 different quadrants in 4 segments of your life. Your financial independence, your business success, your health and fitness, and your family and relationships. The 4 key areas to be successful, to be happy. And what I'd ask you to do is in just a quick moment, pause the video, take a screenshot, print this out, or simply graph it out on a piece of scratch paper and mark where you are right now. Mark an X on that 1 to 10 for each category, 1 being low, 10 being the best it can be, on where you feel you are right now in these 4 categories. Then connect those 4 X's to make a diamond. This will give you a visual representation of where you stand right now, where you are. And then next, I would like you to mark X's on where you want to be. And again, connect those dots, connect those X's to make that diamond of where you hope to get to, what your goal is, where you want to reach. This is obviously your goal, and it will give you a clear idea on where your focus needs to be. If you need to start with one area before you get to the others, what's most important, what needs the most work in your life. From there, you've got that starting point, you've got that roadmap, and now you can begin navigating how you go from point A to point V. So press pause here, take a look around, and work through that process real quickly. Excellent. You've done that now. Now let's look at what your actual goals should look like. First of all, we want to make sure that our goals are in balance, that our goals are in balance. You want to balance out those why goals, those what goals, and those how goals. What does that mean exactly? Your why goals are your personal reasons for your goals, your family, the legacy you want to leave behind, that concept of wanting to make your world a better place, to help your community, to better your world, and what you need to do to accomplish that. Your what goals are those career and financial goals that you have for self. Essentially, the goals you need to achieve and get to your why. Let's say your why is to provide a safe home and an education for your children. Your what goals may be, I need to make X amount of money each year and retire with this much so that I can pay for my kids to go to college. That's your what. And then finally, your how goals. And this really is the nuts and bolts, the blocking and tackling of what needs to get done in order to develop those skills, in order to improve yourself, to achieve those what goals that will ultimately achieve those why goals. Things like personal development, professional development. What do you need to do that will help you achieve your goals? A little homework after this, stay on YouTube and look up a TED Talk entitled Start with Why by Simon Sinek, Sinek. It's a fantastic video. It really details and breaks down how this idea applies to corporate culture. But in the process, you certainly get an idea of what it looks like for an individual as well. Absolutely outstanding. So now that we've established what those how, what, and why goals look like, let's start writing them out. And what does a good goal look like? At Focal Point, we use the acronym SMART. We believe all goals should be specific, measurable, aligned with your values, realistic, and time-bound. Let's go through those individually. Specific. There is a success coach out there named Jack Canfield who wrote a book called The Success Principles. In the book, he states that vague goals produce vague results. In order for you to achieve a goal, you must be very clear about exactly what you want. Often creating a list of benefits that the accomplishment of your goal will bring to your life will give you a compelling reason in your mind to pursue that goal. You need to articulate it clearly. You need to be able to explain what it is. If you had a pen and paper, you should be able to draw a picture of what your goal looks like. Your brain needs that image in order to process the goal. Ultimately, it's about you should have a goal that can be explained to a child, and he or she can easily understand what your goal is. Your goals need to be measurable. It's crucial for goal achievement that you're able to track your progress towards your goal. You need benchmarks, you need measurability. That's why all goals need some form of objective measuring system. So you can stay on track and become motivated when you see yourself enjoying and succeeding in that quantifiable progress toward that goal. Your goals need to be aligned with your values. If you achieve a goal by compromising your value, the end result will be distress rather than the joy you envision in achievement. For example, let's say your goal is to earn $250,000 a year, and one of your core values is to serve the greater good, to serve the highest needs of others. Well, if you ultimately achieve your goal by, let's say, working for RJ Reynolds and selling cigarettes, selling tobacco, all apologies to anyone in the audience who works for RJ Reynolds. But if you achieve your goal that way, knowing that one of your core values is helping others, and you achieved your goal selling a product that ultimately does harm to people, that inner peace will be destroyed in the process of achieving that goal. As a result, you may have that short-term rush and that short-term positive feeling for achieving your goal, but it's going to be short-lived. You're not going to be able to sustain that level simply because your goal comes at the expense of your own values. So before you set goals, it's a good idea to sit down and define your core values, your life purpose, because frankly, it's these tools which ultimately decide how and what goals you choose for your life. Goals in and of themselves don't provide happiness, but goals that are in harmony with our life purpose do have the power to make us happy. Your goals should be realistic. They should be challenging, yet practical and achievable. Not too high, not too low. We've all seen the posters that say, shoot for the stars because even if you miss, you'll land in the moon. Sounds great. It's a great motivating idea. It looks great in a poster. But frankly, if your goal is set too high and you shoot for it and you miss, even if you achieve far beyond what you've achieved before, that ultimate feeling is a feeling of failure. You failed to achieve your goal. And that ultimately is a detriment. People often set unrealistic goals and consequently give up far too easily when they see no progress. Now, on the flip side, if you set goals that are too low and you achieve them easily, there is no feeling of satisfaction. You didn't stretch yourself to get there. So your goals should be a stretch, they should be a reach, but they should be something that you do believe you can achieve. And finally, your goals should be time-bound. Without setting deadlines for your goals, you have no real compelling reason or motivation to start working on them. By setting a deadline, your subconscious mind begins to work on that goal night and day to bring you closer to achievement. Have that deadline set. It gives you something to work for. You've established your SMART goal. Now, as far as writing it down, what does that look like? We like to use the 3 Ps at Focal Point. Your goal should be a positive statement. It should be in the first person, and it should be in the present tense using an action verb. Think of it as the idea of write your goal as if you have climbed that mountain. You're now on the top of it, and you're looking back down at your achievement, writing that way. Your goal should not be, I hope that I can sell a bunch of PCC memberships. Not a good goal. Rather, write it something like, on April 15th, 2017, I have sold 25 PCC memberships, generated $15,000 in revenue, and $1,500 in commissionable sales. There. It's strong, it's specific, it's measurable. It is a positive statement in the first person, written as if it is happening right now in the present tense. Build your goals that way. Now let's take one more quick pause here, and I want you to jot a couple things down. First of all, what is really important to you? What are your 3 most important virtues and values? Number 2, what do you want most in life? What are your most important professional financial goals? And what are your most important personal and family goals? And finally, what is your definite major purpose? Your single biggest goal, the one that you have the biggest impact, that will have the biggest impact in a positive way on your life. Think of this as your personal vision statement. I want you to take some time, press pause, and jot those down and get those ideas, get those thoughts, get those answers down on paper. Excellent. So we've taken some time, we've written down our top goals, our most important things, our vision, what we want to achieve most important in life, that definite major purpose. We're getting our goals set up. We've written our SMART goals. We've written them as a positive statement with the 3 Ps. Now it's time for a plan. Your plan is your blueprint for success and for goal achievement. And remember, any plan is better than no plan at all. Those successful people are successful simply because they have a systematic plan for goal achievement, whereas those less successful people may have goals, but they throw themselves willy-nilly at the goal with no real plan and then wonder why they accomplish nothing. Any plan is better than no plan at all. A poorly designed plan that's executed is still going to have better result than having no plan at all. So I encourage you to build that plan. So what does that look like? Let's talk through it. First of all, establish that vision. You need a vision. Your vision, again, is that clear mental image of the end result of all your hard work, of all your life's work, of what you're trying to do. Your vision translates into your goals, which are going to be results toward which an effort is directed. What are you trying to accomplish that will rise up to that vision? You need to set those plans. Plans are the steps needed to achieve the goal. And then finally, you need to build out your actions, which are simply activity to execute that plan. Actions help work through the plans, which help achieve your goals, which ultimately allows you to realize your vision. And always remember that goal achievement starts with desire. Successful people, those best people in their field, in their craft, in their industry, have a burning, intense desire to achieve their goals and to be successful. Those high achievers, those most successful people, they're hungry and they're willing to sacrifice to achieve their goals and get what they want. If you have a set of goals that you don't get fired up whenever you read them, that don't get you out of bed hungry and ready to get to work, scrap the goals and start over. Find something that speaks to you, that resonates with you, that gets you out of bed, that makes you want to achieve, that makes you want to be better than you already are. Those are the goals that you will ultimately work hard for to achieve. So, what do the steps look like? What are these 7 steps to goal achievement? Step 1, write your goal down. What do you really, really want? Write it down right now. Remember, make those goals SMART, make them measurable. What gets measured gets done. Write down why you want to achieve it. Write down your goals in terms of the benefits that you will experience, that your family, that your friend, that your community, that your people will experience if you achieve your goals. Write them in the 3 Ps: positive, first person, present tense. Write them down and write down everything you need to know about them that will be a benefit to you for achieving them. Number 2, set a deadline. By December 31st, I have sold 100 PCC memberships and generated X amount of revenue and X amount of commission for myself. We've got that ultimate goal at the end of the year. That's a long way off. back that up. Set those sub deadlines. If you want to hit 100 by the end of the year, how many do you need to sell by February 20th, by March 31st, by May 15th, by July 4th, by September 27th, by November 25th, and ultimately at the end of the year? All those sub goals, those sub deadlines should build up to that ultimate goal and that final deadline. Remember, a goal with no deadline is nothing more than a wish. So look at where you are now. Look at your starting point. Look where you want to go. Start there and build up. Set that deadline, set sub deadlines, and build from there. Number 3, identify the obstacles. What's in front of you? What is getting in your way? Those obstacles, those critical constraints are always there. They are just what we see when we take our eyes off the goal. Ask yourself, why have I not already achieved this goal? What stopped me? Why haven't I reached this goal already? And you'll begin to recognize that nearly 80% of those issues, those obstacles, those constraints are inside you. They are internal. If you were at the PCC, the TCG ambassador presentation a couple weeks ago, Kevin played a video, and one of them, there was a quote from an African saying that said something along the lines of, if there is no enemy inside, the enemy outside can never defeat us. This idea that most of our constraints, most of the things holding us back are internal. It's our baggage. It is our preconceived notions of what we can and can't do. It's those biases, those prejudices that we hold inside. Eliminate those first and see where it will take you. Get the facts, analyze yourself, analyze your situation carefully, and it will actually activate your brain to begin solving the solution. Again, write them down, write down what's in the way, and write what needs to happen to eliminate them. Step 4, determine the additional knowledge or skills you need. What are those key results, assessments, those key result indicators that you need to accomplish to make this work better? Ask yourself the question, what one skill, if I had it and did it in an excellent fashion, consistently, over and over, would have the greatest impact on my life? What can I do over and over consistently with excellence that will help me achieve my goal fastest? Find out what that skill is and maximize it. At the same time, figure out what's holding you back. What is your weakest skill? Knowing that if there are 10 things you need to be able to do, the 10th one, the one that you do with the least amount of success, is what will ultimately set your pace. It will slow you down. What can you do to increase that skill, to build that knowledge, to develop that skill, to catch up with the rest so that you can move and achieve at the pace you desire? Your weakest success factor sets the pace. Identify it, strengthen it, and speed up your own process. Consider the necessary resources needed, number 5. And to be clear, this is not a product or a service or a good or something you can obtain. This is human capital. This is the people around you, your groups, organizations around you that can help you, that can work with you, that can add value for you to achieve your goal. Remember, anything you can accomplish by yourself isn't big enough. It takes a village. You want the village. Use your village. Practice the law of compensation. Think of your goal achievement in terms of what's in it for everyone else. What's in it for my customers, my coworkers, my boss, my family, my friends. Be able to clearly articulate the value to them of you achieving your goal, and they will be ready and willing to help you achieve it. Practice the law of service. You can improve the quality of your life by improving the quality and the quantity of the service you provide to other people. Help yourself by helping others. Just like Kevin said, it starts by helping outwardly, and good things will come to you. It's a huge keystone in what Kevin believes. It's a huge keystone in what I believe. If you're helping others, it will come back to you. And finally, practice that law of overcompensation, that idea of always doing more than what is expected. Do more than what you're paid to do. Your success in life will be in direct proportion to what you do after you do what you're expected to do. So how can you help others? How can you over-deliver on your promises in an effort to help others even more than they expected and ultimately achieve your goal? Work with those around you. Make it about them. Make your goals good for them, and they will in turn help you achieve them. Finally, number 6, write it out. Write out the plan. Write everything down. Write down your goals. Make them smart. Write down what you have to do. Write down who you need to be successful. Write down what skills you need to develop, what knowledge you need to obtain to be successful. Write down all the obstacles in front of you and how you can get past them. Write down your date lines. Write down your timelines. Write down your deadlines and your sub-deadlines. List out all the steps. List out what needs to happen. Organize them. Prioritize them by most important. Set your deadlines, then reset your deadlines as you go. You should have a rock solid plan written down in front of you where you can always see it. So you can constantly see what needs to happen next, what your next step is. As you've checked those things off the box, write in the next steps. Constantly be reworking that list of what you need to do immediately today, what's most important to achieve that goal. Make lists, then make more lists, then make more lists, and keep yourself on track and accountable to your own actions. And then finally, number 7 is probably the most important one. Commit to action every day until the goal is achieved. Take action. Action orientation is key to all of this. Get yourself moving in the right direction. This idea of doing something, anything, to get you moving, to activate your brain, to get you working on it. Do things, try things. If they don't work, fix them. It's better to try and fail and fix than not try at all. Do something every day that moves you toward your goals. Now, this does take persistence. It takes determination, and it really demonstrates that your own self-discipline is now being put into action. Essentially, it demonstrates that measure of your belief in yourself. I believe I can do this, and therefore I'm going to get to work. Practice that law of momentum, the momentum principle, this idea that start moving, get it going. It's hard to get moving, but once you get moving, you'll move faster and faster and faster toward that goal with less energy, because once you're moving, it's a lot easier to stay in motion and speed up than it is to get started. Get going right away, do something, start moving toward your goal. At this point, let's take one more quick pause, and I want you to write down the one action you're going to take immediately as a result of what we've discussed today. What am I going to do when I walk out the door today to get started on my day as a Twin Cities Golf ambassador to achieve my goal? Press pause here and write it down. Excellent. So we've taken some time. We've written down that first action item, the action item we commit to taking immediately. So what happens next? Now it's time to get moving. Get out there, get to work, keep those plates spinning. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this webinar. I certainly enjoyed presenting it to you. I love this topic. I'm passionate about it, and I want to talk to you about it. If you have not yet set up your 15-minute consultation call, please reach out to me. Shoot me a text, give me a call, shoot me an email. You should have received an email as well on how to set that call up. I've got time set aside specifically for Twin Cities Golf ambassadors. I want to have that conversation with you. I want to help you figure out what your goals are. I want to help you figure out what those metrics are, what those measurables are, so you can keep on track to your goal. I want to talk to you about this presentation. If you have questions, email me, text me, call me. Don't be afraid to reach out. I want to be a resource for all of you. I look forward to working with you. I look forward to seeing you all be amazingly successful in this process. I am excited about it. I think there's a great thing here. There's a groundswell. We're going to take the golf world by storm. We're going to do amazing things in the Twin Cities and beyond. And let's talk about it. Let's get to work. Have a great day.